Hey everybody, Toys of Arkham here. I am just doing a little, I suppose, photography session with this guy, and I decided to do a little once-over, I suppose, review of him. This is, as you know, the Jungle Hunter, and it is the original Jungle Hunter Predator that was released from Hot Toys. Obviously, as well, unless you've been living under a rock and you are ignoring social media, you might have heard that there was a little bit of criticism being sent Hot Toys way in relation to the new Jungle Hunter that they have just announced. They're calling it the Jungle Hunter 2.0, and all the reference pictures and all of the comparisons are to not this particular Jungle Hunter, which truly is their first version of it. It's rather the one from Predators, which they call the Classic Predator. So what's in front of us here is from the movie Predator, and it is the very first Jungle Hunter. I know there's an MMS number, I don't know what it is, but this is him. Now, first thing I want to say is that this is an incredible piece. It's probably about 15, 16 years old, I'm not quite sure, but the detail on this for their first real outing is amazing. I don't have the Classic Predator from Predators, and the reason I didn't go for that and I went for this one was because I love the closed mouth look on this. It's very hard to get the Predator with the closed mouth look. A lot of them have that open mouth, which looks cool in its own way, but I really like this. You'll see here that there's sort of a translucent plastic with the teeth on this, and that's something that hasn't been carried over to the first one, which is a real letdown. And anybody who's a true fan of these figures from Hot Toys, and those who notice all of the little detail, obviously feel that when these sort of advancements are made, they shouldn't be disregarded then for future releases. Now, of course, they're going with the rolling eyeball system in the new one, which that's all well and good. Don't really need that, believe it or not, for this sort of character, because you can't really even see too much into their eyeballs because they're so set back into their head. But this one has I suppose you call them the quills on the forehead that are painted, and on the shoulders here, which if I believe what the prototype is to be for in terms of the general release, you'd say they've kind of lost that detail. Now this one, the body isn't great. You can see obvious joints, particularly around the elbow, and you can see, well, you probably can't see, but this is actually bang on 12 inches, which if you're going through 1/6 scale, this guy should be at least 13 inches. He should be huge. I don't think that height is there in the new Predator that they're showing. They've compared it to the Classic, and the Classic itself is a bit short, again, by today's standard. They've shown that they're not actually reusing the main body from the Classic Predator, and they're certainly not reusing the body from this one. But the criticism I have about the new body is that it's just very bulky. So the actor that played the Predator, or certainly was in the Predator suit, was an actor called Kevin Peter Hall, who was over 7 feet tall, and he was quite slender. So when you actually go back and look at this movie, you will see that the Predator, albeit strong and agile and a big physical stature of a creature, he's not big and bulky. He's quite slender. And what I like about this particular figure is that it certainly has that slender look to the legs, the torso, and the arms, which is very important for the overall look of the figure. The proportions have to be right. As we all know, they went towards the more WWE wrestler look in the AVP movies, and so there was a version of the Predator that was more bulky, but it wasn't the Predator in the original movie. That one was, as I said, more slender. So they've gone for something that looks more muscular looking in this new body, and it's just not accurate to the movie. So this guy, as old as he is actually more accurate in proportions. Now, when you put this biomask on, you don't actually have to take these mandibles out, which you usually do for other predators. It just kind of slides on his face. I'm not going to do it now, but what I'll say is that when this is on this particular figure's face, it's actually a little bit too big, and it kind of looks a bit, how would you put it? It just looks a bit more stylized rather than accurate to the movie. Now, he still looks brilliant, and you can pose him in certain ways that hides that sort of disproportionate look, but in just a straight up and down pose that you're seeing here, if I put that on his face, it just looks too big and bulky. So this is the look I go for. I'm going to take lots of cool pictures of this guy in this, I suppose, makeshift diorama in a light box with this fish tank tree stump thing here, and you'll see them going up on my Instagram page at Toys of Arkham. But as I said, I just wanted to make a few comments about this. It's a big it's a shame really that Hot Toys, after all these years, have not really put the effort that this character deserves. Personally, I don't care too much for Marvel and Avengers and all that sort of stuff. I'm a big Batman fan, but more so I'm an 80s kid, and I think the market they're aiming at, certainly the one they should be loyal to, is the ones that have got them off the ground in the first place. And that's the people who are in their 40s, maybe 50s or late 30s. We're the ones who grew up in the 80s. We were the ones in love with the original characters that this company tackled: Terminator, RoboCop, Predator. So for us to not be appreciated and not get the love in terms of attention to detail that we deserve is a little bit of a slap in the face. They can do it. We've seen them do it in terms of creating very movie accurate looking characters. They've done it with various Iron Man figures and just Marvel figures across the board. So I can't see why they can't get their design department to really zone in on this particular character. I hope they're not taking us all for granted and thinking, oh, because it's Predator, we're just going to, we know it'll sell, so we'll just throw anything out. That's not good enough. We need an actual attention to detail here, and it will ultimately slap them in the face if they don't do that. They'll get a lot of bad feedback, even if they get the money through pre-orders and all the rest. But anyway, it's a bit of a rant I'm going on. This guy is fantastic. He's an unbelievable looking figure, and it has all of the detail on the armor, bit of weathering. Now, I went over this entire figure with a sort of a gloss to give it that wet look, and shout out to Dean Knight. I think he did the same thing on his figure, and so I just went and copied him, as I tend to do with a lot of the things I buy and any attempts at customization that I do. I would never do as good a job as him, of course, but anyway. So it's just, this is still a beautiful figure. I'd say you'll get this at a pretty decent price now that there's a new announcement and people will be jumping on the new one. If you're an absolute huge fan of the film, I think it's well worth getting this one. You wouldn't regret it. Why wouldn't you want more Predators? He comes with a really cool stand as well. I don't have it on display here. It's over in that cabinet. I don't have the Prey one yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like in hand. The new Prey 1/6 scale figure. In mine, of this particular figure, that line there is a bit annoying. I wish it wasn't as obvious, that seam, but it is what it is. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot to say. I just want Hot Toys to pay a bit more attention to this character, and hopefully they'll give us a Dutch as well. Dutch and him side by side. It's all we want. Nothing else. That would be perfect. And a big version of him, not 12 inches, 12 and a half. He needs to be 13 inches tall. He has to be towering over Dutch at least by an inch. Dutch should be 12 inches on the dot. This guy should be 13. And that would be incredible. What a setup that would be. I haven't got the original Dutch, so I'm hoping that Hot Toys will do us all a favor and revisit this franchise and do it some justice. As I said, the market that they're aiming for, they should look at this, the people who were born in the 80s, in their 40s and 50s, who should possibly have a bit of disposable income, a bit more than someone in their 20s or 30s. They should really focus in on these franchises that we hold near and dear to our hearts. Anyway, I've made that point already. I'll leave you all to it, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe.